It's Wednesday, October 27, 2021. A lot happening, ladies and gentlemen, a lot to talk about. But before we talk, why haven't you subscribed to this channel? Make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit that bell notification down below, share these videos. Make sure you come over and check out my Patreon channel. Just uploaded a new video about 3 nights ago. Check it out, really helps to support the message. But without further ado, let's get into what is happening right now. About 20 minutes ago, I pulled this article up on Yahoo Finance. Jobless claims, another 289,000 individuals likely filed new claims last week. Markets were down a bit today. Dow Jones was down over 200 points. But tomorrow, we will get the jobless numbers, the jobless claim numbers tomorrow morning. They will be near 300,000 yet again, and the markets will love it. Now, I don't know about you, but this whole thing is so insane. There is absolutely no fundamentals in these markets. This is a massive disconnect between reality and illusion, Main Street and Wall Street, and none of this makes sense. It is so out of control, so fake, so manipulated, but we're going to get the jobless claims tomorrow, and they will be near 300,000. And this has been going on for 19 months. How in the world can we have a recovering economy when we are hemorrhaging 300,000+ jobs a week right here in the United States of America? How in the world can anybody say things are normal, or we're going back to normal, or things are recovering, or things are going to be okay, or there's no reason to panic, no reason to worry, no reason to prepare for a rainy day? Again, I'm not a prophet, don't claim to be, but I have 2 eyes. I know how to connect the dots. And when you're losing this many jobs every week, you're going to have big economic trouble. So we'll see where it comes in tomorrow. We do have some good news today. Dems reportedly scrap IRS bank reporting plan. This is fantastic news. There was such an outcry, so many people calling their banks, and this is what people have to do. They have to get loud. They have to voice their opinions. Banks reporting cash flow information has been removed from the $1.5 trillion spending package thanks to Steve Mnuchin. Instead of giving the IRS methods of spying on people, Congress should focus on fixing the agency's broken systems and processes. The IRS is still processing tax returns from 2018, 2019, and 2020. Maybe they need to fix their systems and stop worrying about if you have $600 in your bank account, or if you're spending an aggregate amount like $10,000 a year. Maybe they should just fix their own problems. Unbelievable, but that's some good news. But it's not over. Look, your money is not safe in a bank, period. Whether it's the IRS or whether it's the banking system itself. Remember, these banks are going to get themselves in very, very big trouble. And you're going to see quite possibly bail-ins in America where they start going into people's accounts because they're going to look out for their own best interests, not yours. When they lock the doors to those banks, when they shut the ATMs off, you are done. You are not getting your money out of the bank. So if you don't hold it, you don't own it. So make sure that you have cash and assets outside of the system that you can get to in a time of emergency. I was talking to somebody today, and he's telling me that the banks are in great shape, that he doesn't see any problems, they're fine. That's fine until there's problems. And all of a sudden, we find out that the banks weren't quite as strong as we were told. Remember, you can't believe anything you're being told right now. These banks can get themselves into trouble so quickly. And once this housing market turns, once the repossession of all these automobiles where people aren't making their car payments, who lent them the money? Banks lent them the money. We're going to see very, very big trouble. And of course, we've got banks investing in places like China. And now we see these major development companies like Evergrande and Fantasia and others in China, which nobody's talking about, in very, very big trouble, defaulting. So this financial system is built on quicksand. And don't ever forget that. You need to be your own central bank. Here's an article coming from The Hedge today. Loonie soars after Bank of Canada ends quantitative easing early. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You are going to see interest rates begin to rise here in America in 2022. The Canadian Central Bank announced they would stop growing holdings of Canadian government bonds, ending a quantitative easing program that has poured hundreds of billions of dollars into the financial system since the start of the health crisis. Here's the question I have for all of you. Feel free to comment down below. How long can they halt this quantitative easing in Canada before they have to start again? Their balance sheet has exploded, just like ours. And the question is, how long will they be able to do that when things begin to get out of control? What are they going to do? The helicopter money comes back, the quantitative easing comes back in, and we are going to be flooded with more inflation. So Canada, now talking about raising interest rates at some point in 2022. They're halting quantitative easing. And so, but the question is, how long can they do it? I don't think it will be very, very long before the printing presses start right back up in Canada, just like they will start right back up here in America. But here's the problem: inflation, purchasing power, destruction of the currency, whether it's the loonie in Canada or the US dollar right here. It's going to be a big problem. They've got themselves in a big, big mess. And this is why you really better be looking out for yourself. Plunge in export shipments spark US GDP downgrades. Economy on verge of contraction. There is no doubt, in my opinion, comment down below, we have lost the trade war without a doubt. It's not even close. The goods trade deficit increased by $8.1 billion just in September, much more than expected. It's now sitting at $96.3 billion. Take a look at the ships off the West Coast here, nearly 100 cargo ships. Is it really unexpected? Is this really unexpected that we're losing? Take a look in your backyard, ladies and gentlemen. There are ships, scores of ships sitting off the West Coast with tons of cheap goods, cheap products, most all coming from Asia. The Atlanta Fed now sees the U.S. on the verge of contraction. Markets will be up tomorrow. Doesn't even matter. We will get the job numbers tomorrow, and the Atlanta Fed coming out telling us all that the U.S. is on the verge of contraction. No big deal. Nothing to worry about. It's on the verge of contraction as it slashed its estimate. The Atlanta Fed slashing its estimate for real GDP growth in the third quarter. It slashed it to 0.2%. And I think that's from the previous 1.2%. They keep slashing it literally every week. Now we're down to 0.2%. And could go negative here very shortly. Port of Los Angeles, Long Beach, to fine shipping companies for staying too long in marine terminals. Containers scheduled to be moved by truck have 9 days. Once they surpass 9 days, they get fined. Containers moved by rail have 3 days to stay in the terminals. After that, they begin to get charged $100 per day. So now they're finding shipping companies for dropping off containers at the terminals. A problem that they didn't create, now they're being charged for it. This problem is the California government with the truck emission laws here and AB 5. This is what created the scarcity of truck drivers. Not the lack of people wanting to work, but the rules, the regulations, and the laws right here in California. And so what are we going to do? We're going to fine the shipping companies. Well, guess who's going to pay for that? You're going to pay for it. It's all going to just be passed on to the consumer. So if that container sits there for 15 days and it's an extra $1,500, it's just going to be tagged on to the consumer, period. But Why can we not see the problem? The California system with these truck emissions and AB5, that's why we're not getting enough trucks into the ports and getting these containers out. Congested port of LA receiving empty containers from Gulf and Southeast. This also from the Hedge today. Thousands of empty containers are en route right back here to Los Angeles from the East Coast and the Gulf Coast. The cargo ships are now going to be empty at some point, right? And they need empty containers to go back. But we got another problem here. Where are we? We've got so many full containers in LA down at the port. We don't know where to put them. And now we got empty containers coming back and we have no idea where to put them. And those ships want empty containers so they can go back to Asia, load up and come right back here with more cheap goods and more cheap products. But we got a problem. We got piles of loaded containers and now we got piles of empty containers. So, but that should tell you something about this trade war. We're not shipping anything out except empty containers. Why supply chain disruptions will persist? Another article today. That's an easy answer. You all know this because everything is made in Asia. That's why it will persist. And factories closing down from 7 days a week to 4 days a week because of energy shortages in China means that we're going to have to wait, that it may take longer at some point for goods and services just to come back across the sea, let alone sit at the terminal. It's a mess, ladies and gentlemen. But now we got factories in China shutting down, not working 7 days a week. So the American consumer, they're going to see big changes in their life. And they're beginning, I think, to realize that. But they have no idea what is out over the horizon. There was an article today I was reading. It's titled, "These are the most trusted and least trusted people in the world." I want to go through this list. This was on the Hedge today. Most trusted, doctors, 54%. Scientists, most trusted, 51%. Teachers, 43%. Ordinary people, 27%. And armed forces also hit the list for most trusted. That was 22%. And for the list of least trusted, journalists, it was minus 10%. Bankers, minus 11%. Ad executives, minus 22%. Government ministers, minus 39%. And the least trusted group, politicians. Now, going through this whole list, I'll tell you, I don't trust any of them. None of them. I don't trust the scientists, the teachers, the doctors. They might be the most trusted to the people that took this survey, but they're not the most trusted to me. The least trusted, I can agree with that too, but even this most trusted list, I don't trust it. Daily Mail, junk food, toxic compounds used to make industrial tubing and rubber gloves are found in 80% of McDonald's, Burger King, and Pizza Hut food. Dangerous chemicals linked to asthma, infertility, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, please take care of your health. We are heading into a Great Depression. You're going to need every advantage you have. You need to put every odd in your favor. All the odds you can get, you need to put in your favor. Take care of that body. Now look, I'm guilty. Every once in a while, I will have a McDonald's, okay? But we really, really have got to really pay attention to our health, what we're eating, are we working out? So much obesity in America, so many cancers. You know it, I know it. We don't have to get into it. But, you know, over the last couple decades, people don't even look the same. As a kid growing up in the 80s and being in high school and college, just looking at the average young person back in the mid to late 80s to early 90s, kids today don't even look the same. And I think a lot of it has to do with the chemicals in the food. And you really got to pay attention to what you're putting in your body. Your body is the temple. And as we get into very, very tough times, you don't want to be dependent on pharmaceuticals. You don't want to be in pain. You want your body running at 100% optimization. And I've said this many times on many videos. We got to get off the couch. We got to be going to the gym. We got to go for a walk, go for a swim, go for a bike ride. We got to get off the X. We got to be moving. We got to keep the blood pumping. Too many people have gotten so dependent on their pharmaceuticals. They're addicted to this fast food. And look, again, I'm guilty. I cheat. I eat at some of these places every once in a while. But reading this article today, I don't think I will ever have another McDonald's hamburger ever. A McDonald's coffee, yes. A McDonald's hamburger, never. And look, whether it's a Jack in the Box, a Del Taco, whatever, it's all processed food. And we need to really start substituting this garbage and substituting with something better. And I know the good stuff costs more money, but this is why you got to cut something out of your life to put something good in your life, right? So, people always say, I don't have the gold, I don't have the silver, because they can't cut something out of their life. They can't cut the entertainment or the fun out of their life. And it's the same thing, with food. People will eat the cheap stuff because they want to go out and they want to spend $100 on a Friday night at the bar. They want to take a weekend trip. They want to buy a toy. They want to buy a car they can't afford to drive. They're living in a house they can't afford to live in. And so they have to eat the cheaper foods. And so it's going to destroy your quality of life in the long run, ladies and gentlemen. And where we are at today, and I'll leave you with this, the way I see it, is this whole thing we're in right now is a marathon, okay? It is not a sprint. And so many people are trying to get rich quick. They're trying to live for today quick. And they don't understand that this is going to be a long haul. A long haul. This is going to be a marathon. And if you're running a sprint, you're going to lose here. This is going to be a very, very long marathon. And you need to be ready to run it. You need to be conditioned to run it. Too many people, again, live for today. Don't think about tomorrow. They run a race today. They run the 100-yard sprint. Ladies and gentlemen, this one's going miles. It's going 100 miles. It's going to be a long run. And these people are not going to make it across the finish line because physically they're destroyed. Spiritually, they're destroyed. Financially, they're destroyed. Mentally, they're destroyed. Prepare for an economic marathon, ladies and gentlemen. That's who's going to survive. God bless you all. I look very, very forward to talking with all of you very soon. Share this video. God bless.